These chairs are hilarious.
Ugg chairs.
They're fuzzy.
Comfy. So this is a kind of it's a unique opportunity to get the five of you all together to pick your brain about each other and the year in film and your crazy experience that you've gone through together this season. Just a few more weeks remaining. I wonder, though, since we've got five experts up here, if you could share something about one and only one, because I know everybody's inclination is to be polite and probably say something nice about everyone, but one of the other people's films up here that really impressed you as a filmmaker. And Jim, could you start us off?
Well, I could say something about everyone here, but the first thing that occurred to me was in Jacques' film, the kind of boldness to just ram genre together, not in a holistic sense, but that they're almost colliding from the moment you land in that film. There's a sense, a very bold, I don't know if I'm bold enough, a kind of that he's almost hitting his own film with bumper cars. And one genre is crashing into the next, and there's a kind of beautiful whiplash you get in that film as you realize you're in the hands of a director who's kind of fearlessly spinning the wheel and taking you on this kind of incredibly zigzagging, but at the same time it starts to fuse into a single direction. Anyway, if that made any sense.
That's great.
Thank you.
Did you understand?
Yes, absolutely. Je comprends tous les compliments.
I always understand compliments.
Thank you. So, Carly, take it away, Carly.
That's a tough question because there is so much to say about each of the directors tonight. What I love is that I think each one has a very distinctive personality. That's what I see in their work. As I'm seated next to you, one of the movies that I really loved was Walk the Line. That gave me this sense of, cinema, like you go for an adventure and you feel. And also I love Johnny Cash, so it was it was a powerful film that made me feel joyful.
Thank you. Brady.
I'm not answering this question. No, I mean seriously, because the thing is that, like, as I said before, I'm genuinely impressed by all of the movies for very different reasons, and it's impossible. Like I can't.
It's not saying a favorite. It's saying something that stood out to you about.
But it means something. And it's the first thing comes to mind. I can't really answer the question.
All right. We'll skip you. We'll skip you. Fair enough.
Listen. I think that it's as I've mentioned before, I think it's a very interesting crop of movies this year that are very radical and very special films, and I'm honored to be up here with all these folks. I just can't single anyone out.
Sean, can you be a little more helpful?
Not really. No, but I feel the same way. It is, you're putting us on the spot here. I want to say something about every one of these wonderful filmmakers' films. But I do. Maybe I'll use it. I'll tell an anecdote instead, a story. I took my crew, my entire cast, my main cast, out to the AMC Grove to see The Substance. And it was almost more of a bonding experience than the actual making of the movie. We had so much fun. I was watching Vache's face and Yura's face as it just got more extreme and more extreme. And we absolutely loved it. It was like for me, it was a return to, for me, the films that I grew up with and that I love so much, that are bold and just no holds barred at all, So yeah.
Thank you. Jacques.
Mais Sean, tu m'as pris mon choix.
But Sean, you took my choice.
Sorry, man.
Alors, moi, je trouve que de Substance est un film qui m'a franchement flanqué par terre.
The Substance just knocked me down to the ground.
J'avais pas vu une organisation formelle aussi puissante depuis très longtemps.
I hadn't seen such a powerful, formal organization in a very long time.
Et que les rapports du film avec... pour moi, c'est un film qui appartiendrait presque au domaine du muet. Et ça m'a vraiment bouleversé.
For me, it's a film that nearly belongs to the world of silent film, and that's something that really moved me tremendously.
On se souvient bien sûr tous de l'intertitre dans Nosferatu. Il passa le pont et les fantômes vinrent à sa rencontre.
We all, of course, remember the intertitle in Nosferatu. They crossed the bridge, or he crossed the bridge, and the ghosts came to meet him.
Et ben, ton film a fait cet effet-là.
Your film had that effect on me.
So we don't have to go in any particular order for this one, but you guys, at every of the many screenings that you've had of your films, I'm sure there are people that come up to you and have different thoughts and comments that they want to share. Some of them are probably out there, but I would love to ask you, what has been the most memorable and interesting piece of feedback that somebody's given to you about your film that maybe even made you think about it in a slightly different way? Has there been could be a review, it could be a person coming up to you. Has there been anything that really kind of jolted you when you heard it about your film? Pass? All right, we'll go to the...
I'll answer that one.
Thank you.
The two small things I mean that come to mind is that Daniel Libeskind, the architect behind One World Trade Center and the Jewish Museum in Berlin, wrote a piece about the film that was, every once in a while you do something and you feel really seen. I felt really seen by Daniel Libeskind's piece. And finally, the filmmaker behind a film called Coda from a couple of years ago, Sean, her father is suffering from dementia, and he watched the entire film, and he's Hungarian, and she shared with me that it was the first time that they'd had a conversation in a long time about something, because there's these moments of lucidity, and that was very, very touching. It was just a couple nights ago. It's fresh in mind.
That's great. Thanks. Got nothing? All right, we'll go to the next one. What is the question that you have each been asked the most on the press tour and making the rounds that you would be thrilled to just never have to answer ever again?
What's your favorite Bob Dylan song?
And we won't make you answer it unless you want to.
I won't.
Okay, good.
Don't do it, Scott.
No, I won't.
It's stupid.
That's it. Who's got, Jacques, what's the question you're the most sick
Pardon,
of?
moi j'en étais à la question précédente.
I was still thinking about the previous question.
Okay.
Mais je peux y répondre ou pas?
You can
Can I
take
still answer
whichever
it?
one you'd like.
Parce que le moment le plus étonnant que j'ai eu pendant la tournée, c'était avec Roger Durling. C'était une conversation avec Roger Durling. Je trouve cet homme extraordinairement brillant, vraiment très très brillant. Il a mis le doigt sur certains trucs que j'avais fait et que j'avais oubliés. J'ai été ébloui.
The conversation I had on this campaign that most stunned and surprised me was with Roger Durling. He's really he's an extremely brilliant person, and he really went to points that I had completely forgotten about.
That's great. High praise. High praise. No? Anybody? No? Okay, I will note this is only the third year in the 97 years history of the Oscars after 2018 and 2023 that every one of the Best Director nominees was also a credited writer of the film for which they're nominated. And it's only the second year in Oscars history after 2018 in which every Best Director nominee is also a screenplay nominee. I guess if push came to shove and somehow you guys had to identify which one of those two things you derive more pleasure or maybe less pain from, writing or directing, which might that be? John, it looks like
Writing's the hardest thing for
hardest.
me. Yeah, I think it's when you're alone and you're just breaking that story. You don't know whether you got something that'll work. It's torture. It's absolute torture. That's why I end up kind of rewriting when I'm directing.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you asking if we had to let one go or just what's harder?
we don't have to go as far as letting one go, but
Yeah.
just, yeah.
I mean, I view it all as the same activity. That, I mean, we've talked about this as a group before, but that writing is writing and directing is writing and editing is writing and mixing is writing. And that you're affecting the narrative in every time you change the sound of a scene, you're affecting the narrative. Every time you obviously change the cut of a scene or take something in or out, that's writing. When you're deciding how to move the actors and how they're saying and doing what they're doing, you're clearly writing. And obviously the writing is writing. And so the reason we divide the duties is more about divisions of labor and than it is about a kind of process of creation, which is, at least to me, is very pure. Even when I'm collaborating, as I did on this and other films with collaborator writers, you're leading, as I'm collaborating on the edit and collaborating on the shoot, you're leading something, and you're leading something from birth all the way to fruition. And I think I love all the films by the filmmakers to my left, and part of what I love about each of the films is that I feel their voice in every way. I feel the screenwriter's voice united with the directorial frame and the blocking and the mise-en-scène. I feel the editing aligned with the writing. I don't feel any kind of war or push or pull, except a good tension going on in each of these marvelous films. And they're each unique, meaning their style, their tempo, the way they're cut, the way they're fabricated is so obviously different and so obviously built from the page up. And those are almost always been my favorite films in my life, and continue to be.
Very nice. Thank you. We feel the same of A Complete Unknown.
Yeah. Carla?
I agree with Sean. Writing is hell. But that's because for me, I know that everything takes shapes during the writing because I really write what I'm going to direct and what I'm going to edit. And it's the first time that you put your guts on the page. You're going to put your guts in the film many, many times during the process, but it's the one where you're really in the process of creating something that nobody has asked for. So you really have, to trust yourself and to, have, a lot of nerves not to fall apart and to keep thinking that what you want to write is worth existing. But yes, with the pain then comes the relief and the joy of, fulfilling an accomplishment.
Alors, vous m'auriez posé la question il y a une dizaine d'années, j'aurais répondu sans conteste, le scénario était l'endroit où j'étais le mieux.
Had you asked me this question 10 years ago, I would have answered without a doubt, the screenplay is where I feel best.
Que maintenant, je prends de plus en plus de plaisir à tourner, à diriger, et je m'en excuse.
Now I take more and more pleasure shooting and directing, and I apologize for that.
Okay. What is one great film from 2024 that is not represented on this stage that you would encourage people to check out that they might not already know about? This is a chance to highlight something you loved. Sean?
Can I say two?
You're absolutely.
Robert Edgar's Nosferatu, I think, is brilliant, and I think the craft is impeccable. And Catherine Brillet's Last Summer, which I think is underseen and should be seen.
Great, thank you. Anyone who would like to go next? Carly?
Yes, I really loved Baby Girl. And also The Girl with the Needle. And I think there are two very powerful stories about women's stories that we don't get to hear often. And I think, yeah, those are great movies I encourage you to discover.
Absolutely. Brady?
I was shooting a lot this year, so I didn't see very much. But a film that I was on the jury in Berlin last year, and we gave the Golden Bear to Maddie Diop's film Dahomey, which is a film that I love. I think it's actually kind of a seminal documentary, and at just 68 minutes, it's unbelievably precise. The filmmaking is like insane. It's insane.
Yeah, absolutely.
Je suis désolé, je crois que je n'ai pas vu de film en 2024.
I'm so sorry. I don't think I saw any movies in 2024.
Moi, je travaillais, je n'allais pas au cinéma. Moi, je travaillais, je n'allais pas au cinéma.
I was working. I wasn't going to the movies.
Okay. Jim, did you squeeze in any?
I'm blanking on what I would answer this question with that hasn't, in one forum or another we've been in, gotten. But the one that jumps to my mind today is Pig. But it's 3 years old or 4 years old. But I fucking love that movie, and for some reason that jumped in my mind. So it's still living.
Take the recommendation. That's good.
Yes,
Nicolas Cage, right?
Yes. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yes.
Let's go back to like 1907.
Was Pig made in I love wings.
Yeah.
I was talking about the old Nosferatu.
All right, last question. Starting down with Jacques and coming back to Jim. What is the one thing that you are most looking forward to doing after March 2nd, the date of the 97th Academy Awards?
Dormir.
Sleep.
Sleep. Sean.
Pouvoir lire un peu.
And to be able to read a little bit.
Very good, very good.
Well, you know, while you do this, which we are incredibly fortunate to be doing, you can't work. So I can't wait to make the next film, quite honestly. I'm going to get on the road. I'm going to get on the road and find some, I won't tell you what city, but it's pulling me.
That's great.
And I'm going.
Exciting. All right, Brady.
I mean, I'm going to do those things too. I'm going to sleep, and then I'm going to work. I'm going to read, for Christ's sakes. I'm going to fucking read. And I'm going to spend time with my daughter. It's insane being away from her so much at a time in her life where, like, she's going to be a teenager very, very soon, and I just want to be with my kid. That's all for now. But yes, and sleep near my daughter. That's
Carly.
Yeah, quite the same. Like, really take a break, like to reset my brain to be able to go back to the hell of writing.
Yes. Jim, any like cruises or anything coming up?
I would love that. Not a cruise sounds awful, but a trip. I don't know. I see those ads where there's these like skyscrapers on a barge with a slide on top, and I go, "Who the fuck wants to do that?" So no cruises,
cruise,
at least
okay.
that kind. I
Okay.
mean, maybe if Steven has a free spot on his yacht, I'll
Right,
go.
right.
But the no, writing, I mean, everything everyone said, but, you know, I have this theory that there is no, I mean, I teach sometimes and, you know, people ask about writer's block, and I kind of refuse to accept such a thing exists. And I think of writer's block is that you don't know what to write. That's why you can't write. So go away from your typewriter or your keyboard and do something else until you have an idea what to write. And like, you don't go to your kitchen and you don't know what you're cooking. So why do you go to your typewriter and not know what you're writing? Go think of it and then get it so it's burning in your brain, and then you sit down and holy shit, I'm writing. And I don't know about the other my compatriots up here, but this process, I feel like the person who keeps thinking of things I want the time to write down, and I don't have it. So I'm kind of burning to have the opposite of writer's block, which is kind of will be some kind of diuretic writing and then realizing it's all shit and getting back to the depressing place.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming here, and
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
have fun the rest of the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is very cozy. Thank you.
Brady, in 3 films, The Childhood of a Leader, which is a chamber piece, Vox Lux, a pop art extravaganza, and now The Brutalist. It's an ambitious 1950s epic. Corbett, you have shown boldness, vision, and reach. Keep raising the bar, and you keep raising the stakes, and we're the beneficiaries of your incredible talent. Thank you, Brady. Cora Lee, Farjat, in the substance, you display assured. Yeah, I know. This is like a night at the opera here. Coralie, in the substance, you have displayed such assured direction, paired with creative imagery, visceral set pieces, and extraordinary energy. I'm so impressed with your knowledge of cinema, quoting Kubrick, Cronenberg, and Hitchcock while holding a mirror to us all, the audience, where you revealed to us our own hidden fears about ourselves. Bravo, Coralie. Sean Baker, you've been a friend of mine and a friend of the film festivals for over a decade, and you've been coming to SBIFF to watch films, to be surrounded by us, and we love you. You're such a mensch. But your style feels revolutionary in our current cinema, but it harks back to the neo-realism style of post-World War II Europe, which thrive on realism and showcasing underrepresented communities in Italy. I love that in the last shot of Anora, you pay homage to Fellini's Nights of Cabiria with Giulietta Messina's Single Tear. Baker shows incredible humanity and compassionately you showcase outcasts and the struggle of everyday people in the U.S. Thank you, Sean. James, your films all of them are emotionally centered and so vital. All of them visually striking. I respect how you use long stretches of shots without dialogue to build a rapport amongst your characters. I see the influence of Ozu's in your work. And for many years, your artistry has been taken for granted. And I'm so glad we've caught up finally with your greatness. And last but not least, Odiard, I was deeply moved by your words about me backstage. I started getting teared up. As a matter of fact, I want to say about all of you tonight, and thank you, Scott, for hosting such a gorgeous conversation, is that I, as a film geek, as a film lover, and I'm probably speak for a lot of you out in the audience, I live for cinema. I feel the most alive when I am watching movies, and I feel the most alive when I'm listening to filmmakers. So tonight, because of the five of you, for you on stage, I've never felt more alive. So thank you. And Jacques, your genre bending style that mirrors your characters. Your characters are constantly changing, and you show us in your films characters are giving a second chance, and we ride on that journey vicariously on the triumph and high of their journey, for we all deserve a second chance. And you show us in the film that we are capable of changing, we're capable of evolving, and we're capable of becoming better human people. And thank you so much. To the five of you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we have awards for you, gang. Bring their, oh, there we go. So you don't go home empty-handed. Okay, so now,
I'm sorry.
that's all right. Thank you, everybody.